No worries.
All right, man. All right. Yo, man, we are back, man. Yo, let's do this, man. Let's do this. Yo. Welcome back to Recap and Record Podcast. I'm your host, Los, and I'm with my boy Levi, man. And this is episode 8 of Recap and Record. You know what I mean? Remember, we're focusing on House of the Dragon, and we are also recapping episode 8 of House of the Dragon. And man, yo, Levi, I seen your tweet, whatever, and you were saying that oh my god, like you said you were stuck where you were and whatever, and you said you haven't had that feeling in a while. And I thought it was a good episode, but I mean maybe today we'll get into that, but like, what did you mean like by that? Because I don't know if it moved me like that. I didn't to say what you said. I don't know.
Yeah, I think just in the moment watching it, just where it went and how it was, and I think just knowing what's coming.
Okay.
I mean, listen, man, I've seen it all over Twitter since then, and I think people were talking about it even before this episode. But if Paddy Constantine doesn't win some form of award for what he has done with King Viserys through this time, I mean, a lot of people, and I was thinking about that too, like, you know, I was like, wow, really? He's not that like great of a character. Like, we don't really like him.
People like him. People like him. They like him.
Right. Like, Game of Thrones offers quick deaths to a lot of people that we'll get to in this episode here in a minute. But it also, you know, it's those ones that we've seen, like, since the episode 1, like, we've seen this kind of progression. And I think it was that fueled with maybe the hope that, like, as we see a couple times in this episode, fueled with hope that maybe like things might be okay.
They definitely did do that. They gave you a little bit of hope, but you knew, like, that's not what Game of Thrones is. You know what I mean? Like,
I understand. I think I don't know. I just thought it was it's cliche it's cliche to say, but I think it was the best episode that we've had so far.
Okay.
So I think rumors and rumblings are telling us that this penultimate number 9 is going to be something we've never experienced. So I'll probably have some more even deeper, you know, whatever. I don't know. It was just it was something I saw. It was in the moment, and I thought it was. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because, you said that because, like, it's gonna, you know, something that we've never seen before and all this. You said that you had some hope. Well, yeah, because when you think about it, it's like, yo, really, what are they beefing about? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, all right, it's some people, you know what I mean, ain't having sex with who they want people to have sex with. You got some, you know what I mean? It's people that want power, but like it's no real, like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of petty, and it's like, but that's what makes it like crazy, because it's like, yo, these people are going crazy over this, but really they could just be a family, and like they're better, they're way more strong together than they are apart.
Well, and we see strong, and we see that they have in this episode a few times, and from multiple characters, and we've seen this even throughout the series, that like the people who are supposed to be there and wanting it, like, they're pulling the Jon Snows and not wanting it. Like, they don't really, like, you know what I mean? Like, we hear Rhaenyra say in this episode, like, hey, I'm not really down for this. You know what I mean? And then, like, the Aegon doesn't want it, and we'll get to him. But, like, it's just, it's like, you know, what's the freaking point? Like, can we let Daemon do it? And then
somebody that really wants it, and he's wanted it from the rip, like.
And for what? What's he gonna do? What would it affect Alicent, the Hightowers, Rhaenyra, and now all of her almost 6 children, and like everybody else in the realm and everything else going on? What would be so bad if we just made Daemon king, got it over with, it's done?
Now, well, that's easy to say now because he's grown as a character, you know what I mean? And he has certain things to live for. But like, he was crazy. He was Blue Lives Mattering. Yeah, I mean, that City Watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, man. I know, I don't know if that's a bad thing.
Right. No,
but nah, he was just he was all right. He was just all law and order,
right?
You know what I mean, and that doesn't necessarily bode well for
true.
I mean, that don't even match really what the Targaryens are about. Like, the Targaryens they don't really follow conventions. They make the conventions, and then, but then it goes into that tyranny. So we don't want to get into. But anyway, all right, let's we're already cooking. You know what I mean? Talking about what we want, but let's get started, man. So, all right, this is a common theme of this show, man. So we got time jumps, right?
Last one.
But all right,
6
time
years.
jumps though equals off-screen conflicts, but that equals like just in general bad for the audience or criticism by the audience. And this is maybe an instance where, I don't know, like I can see where Joe Rogan's coming from, but obviously, like, you know, I care a little bit more about what we got going on here in the show. But no, it's because, all right, so I'll say, like, when in terms of off-screen conflicts, right? We got, and we'll talk about these. We'll break them down a little bit more in depth. But we got Corlys, and he has a grave wound in the Stepstones. So, but we don't see that, right? So for a character like Corlys, who we both like, for a lot of people like, whatever. If you're gonna and we don't know yet, but if you're gonna take him away from me, I need to see that on screen because the Game of Thrones has never done well when they do off-screen conflict, right? Because arguably the worst season is season 8, maybe part of season 7, where a lot of stuff was happening off-screen, and we're like, yo, no, you got to show me that. Like, what are you doing? Whoa. And like, you can't do that with big characters like that. Now, if you're just talking about, you know, a kid getting older and nothing's happening, whatever. All right, but we'll get into other comments. So another time jump, and like I said, I'm gonna go back. But another time jump is just the fact that we know Rhaenyra and Daemon now they have kids, right? So we don't see that on camera. And then even more of like Aegon's exploits, whatever. So we're gonna put this all in the same like kind of umbrella, and we don't see that either. We don't see that either. But going back to Corlys, right? So he has a grave wound in the Stepstones, man, and we don't see it. But now the Driftmark heir is in question.
Yes.
Right. You know what I mean? And I see you had it broken down, man. You got Team Black, Team Green over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's the issue, and I agree with you, man. I don't like that we don't know where he's at because they've established Corlys as a character now, and so it only leads me to believe. And as much as I don't want this to be true,
he's not coming back, bro.
You see, here's the thing: it only leads me to believe that he is. Like, I want him.
What if he finds Rhaenyra?
Yes, I want word. I want word to get back to Corlys that what happened to Corlys to Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra sneaks in, finds out Corlys is okay. They save his life. He tells them what's up. And then in that time, the dance starts to happen. And then, I don't know, maybe Corlys and Rhaenyra just kind of swoop in and save the day. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure they're both gone. And I'm pretty sure we won't see them again. But if you know, Hollywood's taught us anything, that's, you know, what would happen. But I think it's interesting now because this gives Vaemond more of his character development and then everything else that we need till the end of his life. And so basically, yes, the Driftwood throne is a question. And so Vaemond thinks it's his because he's in place now. He's the brother. He's in line. He's the pure blood, and he wants the throne. He's staking his claim to the throne of Driftwood, and we know through the books and the history and everything else that he would have been Team Green over on Alicent's side.
He was already kind of, you know, playing that side, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. And so, and of course, we knew from last week's episode that Corlys would want Luke to take the throne, and of course, that leaves one of Rhaenyra's children in charge. And then, obviously, Rhaenys, as we can see in this scene, wants Baela to take the throne. And so, in this episode, it's we're to assume, and I think it's kind of hinted at via some of the conversation, that Baela has been with Rhaenys for the last 6 years, kind of being her hand.
Okay, and another thing too, where we don't see that, you know what I mean, on camera. So like, you're like, well, what was she? How was she being raised? Like, why was she being raised by her grandmother, and why couldn't Daemon raise his own daughter? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
well, and so the other girl was with Daemon and Rhaenyra at Blackstone through these 6 years.
Oh, you mean Dragonstone?
Dragonstone, yes, Dragonstone.
So she So Rhaenyra was with them, but Baela was not.
Correct. Yeah.
Why? What's the reason for that? Who's older? Who's older?
Oh boy.
I I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's an honest
I'll look
question.
it up and I'll put it in the edit. I'm not
Okay.
sure though, but yeah, I don't know. I would imagine probably because does one have a dragon and one doesn't? Oh, that might be the case. Yes, I
Okay.
believe that
So,
is the case
oh, s-
because Bela was supposed to take her mother's dragon, and Aemon took it. Aemon claimed it
okay.
instead. So
Yeah.
that's probably why. Probably because Daemon, we know from the source material that Daemon favored. He favored his one daughter because she had a dragon and the other didn't. So there you
Oh,
go.
so Rhaenys was taking care of Bela,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yep.
dragonless one. I would think you would think that one would need more protection. So be with your dad and his new wife, and your I don't know
But
what is
she's
that?
also,
That's
but
her stepmom cousin.
yeah, but she's also grooming her to take over the drift. Like that's who she
Oh,
wants to
okay,
be a
okay,
Driftmark. So she's like, "Hey,
yeah,
come with me. Don't worry about the dragons. Don't worry about the war and all that stuff. You need to be worried about Queen of Driftmark over here."
okay, okay,
So
okay,
I'm pretty sure that's where that dynamic kind of came to be.
okay, okay.
So everyone wants the throne, and
Everybody wants the throne.
like
Yep.
you said, man, yeah, we don't see what's happening at Corlys, and hopefully we get some answers, but I don't know if we will.
Yes. So then we got so we see more kids, right? We learn that, what I mean, Damon and Rhaenyra have two sons, right? We
Hmm.
got Viserys
Hmm.
and we got Aegon. All right, and then a third on the way. Okay. Oh, she's pregnant. Okay,
Yep.
with Visenya, you
Yes.
said.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, man, if you thought Joe Rogan was confused last week about these character upgrades, Homeboy's going to be real confused when he finds out there's now like two Viseryses in this episode.
Yes.
There's like three Aegons mentioned in the episode.
Yes. Yes.
And just, all the other, I can't keep the names straight, let alone anyone who can't keep the faces of the characters straight. But
Yes.
yeah, man. So, yeah, these are all Daemon's children. Daemon and Rhaenyra have these kids. Of course, she named the one Aegon the Third. It was in the source material as a stab at the queen because Rhaenyra thinks she'll be queen. Therefore, she'll name her Aegon. Her heir
Oh.
instead of Aegon, the king's Aegon. Like
Okay.
it's,
Okay.
just petty shit in the castle because that's all they have to do. What else do these girls have to do but other than name their sons in order to be set up to be king one day? You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then obviously we see her pregnant in this episode, and that child we will later find out is named after Aegon the Conqueror, one of his sister wives, Visenya.
Yeah, yeah. So as we're kind of getting into, I guess even before this, so as we're getting into kind of King's Landing a little bit, what we learn was, I think that was early on, like we learned about Aegon's exploits, man, and we learned that he's still on one, bro. Like and we seen him when he was in the, he had the tower wank, you know what I'm saying? Like he did his thing, whatever. And then like there's been rumors that he was, he's just philandering around with these servants and things like that. But whatever, it seems like there was a more forceful situation, you know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I mean? The R word, you know what I mean? And we call her Dirty Diana, you know what I'm saying? But and she is like terrified, bro, like shook, whatever, you know what I mean? And she, she's telling the story, and you're kind of wondering, like, what did she do? What did she do? And then like basically it's almost like she's like apologizing, almost like it's her fault,
right?
Whatever. And Aegon is going crazy, and then they give her some moon tea because it's like, we don't know to what extent. Like she has a little, like she's she raised a sexual deviant, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like he is a menace out here.
So Aegon is that his drinking continues and gets worse. So that just becomes his MO. And we know from this that so we see the servant get the moon tea, And in that, after that same one of those scenes, his sister, Aegon's sister, comes in, and I don't know if you caught it, but they did get married. Aegon and his sister are currently married, and they have 3 children of their own currently in this episode. We don't see them. And so they have 3 children, and he presumably has other bastards with a few women throughout the realm. Some are born, some are not, some have gotten rid of, some are in question.
What do they call him? Because, like all the Targaryens have like a nickname. Because, like I've seen those, like, I don't know if it's fan art, whatever, but it'll be like the this. Like, what was his nickname? Had to be something nasty.
Well, he's like Aegon the Prince of Pussy.
Oh, is
I think that's what it was. I'm pretty sure George R.
Oh wow,
George. No.
But no, like he's just on one, man, and it's it's like obviously he's not fit to rule. You know what I mean? And Alicent is worried about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know, man, because we have a theme of like second sons like wanting to take over and things like that. I don't know, like he looks younger than the guy that they casted for.
They made that
Aemon.
interesting, and I think they did it that way because Aemon becomes a very more important character than Aegon in here in the near future. So I thought that too, and I know that was our confusion. That's why, week, but it was like,
wait, which one is? I know he doesn't look young. He don't look younger.
Right.
He look a lot older than.
It's just, I guess, the short brother versus the taller brother. You know what I mean? Who knows?
I guess. So, all right, man. And so kind of getting into King's Landing or whatever, you know what I mean? Just a couple of things that are happening there, right? We do see the king's current condition. We see the castle has, because, they're going to King's Landing, Rhaenyra and Daemon, and, basically a family reunion, whatever. So we're going to get into this. We're going to get into the king's current condition, kind of a first look at Eye Patch Aemon, you know what I mean? And then kind of the politicking that kind of goes on in this part of the episode. So what did you have here? Who is this guy?
Lord. So we see as soon as when Rhaenyra and Daemon come back from Dragonstone, where they were for the last 6 years, presumably. We see Lord Caswell, and he greets Rhaenyra again and just lets her know, like, hey, anything now and in the future you need, let me know. And we see him when she's taking her snail trail walk through the castle with Laenard, when she had Joffrey. And
he's typically in, oh no, Lord Caswell is not the one. No, that's Beesbury, Lord Beesbury, the one that's like in the court that like just like is worried about everything. No, okay, so Lord Cas, that was a brief. Yeah, he has a brief.
He's brief, but he becomes a member of Team Black and just an important character when it comes to the dance later on. So they keep sprinkling him in, and so we'll just get more.
Does he have a strong family, or is it just
I think he just becomes a part of like Ray's close counsel when she's making like her war and leadership decisions. So we see him, and then of course we see Rhaenyra and of course Daemon, they make comments on it. In these 6 years after she almost stabbed her friend and her son lost her eye, Alicent turned to the faith, and we can see all the redecorating that she's done through the castle. You can see all the symbolism
and
the faith of the seven. Yes, it is the 7-pointed star. It's the faith of the seven. It's what we see in the main series and everything that happens there. So she's pretty much taking down all of the Targaryen flags, covering up all the murals, all the portraits, all that stuff, and just kind of putting her own damper on the castle. And someone kind of pointed this out, I did see on Twitter. Like if you go back to like episode 1 where you see Rhaenyra and Alicent as kids walking through the court, it's like bright and lively and active, and it's just now it's like meh.
Dun, dun, dun. This is like London, like you know what I mean,
right.
Just dreary, whatever. But
Yep. And I didn't know this was a thing either. But Alicent, when she was younger, looked over King Jaehaerys before he died. the king before Viserys.
Oh,
Presumably at the hand of her father, again, at the same time.
Okay.
But she also, I guess in the source material in the books, she also like looked over Jaehaerys in his final days, like much like she's doing now, but with lesser of a role, obviously.
Okay.
So she's like used to all this, what's happening with the king currently. So that is just a little fun fact.
Yeah.
For everybody
So
there.
so we get the king, man, and oh my god, bro. Like this
He looks
guy.
like the grandma from SpongeBob. When they're selling chocolates.
Yes,
What
yes,
are they
yes,
selling? The chalk. Oh, I used to love chocolates. It's just him. He just wants to play with it.
He looks crazy, bro. And
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? Like I said, you know, people actually talk pretty highly of him. Like people that, you know, like that are into acting and things like that. Like he's doing a good job in his role. Like
so much breathing. Like, there's so much breathing. The man
like I know.
So hard.
Oh my god, like he's on his deathbed, and it is funny because I talked to somebody and they was like, "Yo, y'all better talk about how y'all know that his breath had to be kicking." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you ever smell, like I had a dog, bro, back in the, you know, and I remember like this dog was on his like last days. You know what I mean? And like, yo, the smell of that breath, whatever, it was wicked. You know what I'm saying? And like it. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why the babies were crying. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he would just had that shit just like humming. Like, you know what I mean?
It might but dude, maybe not even his breath. Like dude was missing an eye and like had holes in his back. So I'm sure his body just rotted. Like how do you wash yourself when there's holes inside of it?
Yes.
Like there's his whole room like probably
but
just
his
kind
teeth were like just like
nasty,
it was everything
nasty.
was just
nasty. It was so gross. So gross. So good, but so gross.
But he's definitely on. We Ben thought he was on his last legs, but like no, this is literally his last legs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they show when Rhaenyra and Daemon are in the room, they show a shot of his model castle, and we can see the cobwebs over it as if it hasn't been touched in 6 years. Just to show how much time has gone by and how his health has deteriorated. And then also, too, it is confirmed that he has been drinking milk of the poppy, which keeps him numb, but also delusional. And if you missed it, there was a shot of Daemon taking that cup from the king.
Yes, he smelled it.
He sniffed it just to double check that Alicent hasn't been poisoning him. Instead of whatever it is that's going on.
Milk of the poppy. Yeah. Because he smelled it because he was like, "Oh, give me my tea," and then it was I think was that like one of the first times that, you know, the king has seen Rhaenyra with Daemon, you know what I mean? At least, like I said, at least on camera. Like, is this the first time they've been back since you know what I mean? That's a part of it where it's
we missed it.
All this off-camera stuff. It's like, you know, you could have built it up a little bit better. You know what I mean? But like, you know, I guess we got to deal with what we got to deal with. And we're gonna, you know, kind of move through. So, man. So we also get a first look at the new Daemon or the new Aemond, and yo, man, Prince of Violence, is that what they call him?
They call him the Prince. Aemond, the Prince of Violence. So you can see it in this episode. Anytime Aemond is smiling or smirking when you know, he's not talking, he's just smiling, and the camera cuts to him, it's because something of violence is about to happen or it just happened. So when he's in the courtyard, bro. when the head gets cut off, when at the dinner table, do you see the look of disgust on his face when they stop the very first argument that was about to happen at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, he was so upset because he was ready for a pop off. And so that's why he had to create his own. And so like he becomes a very nasty and very important character here in the next what we'll see probably into season 2. So he's going to be man. And since the eye, you know what I mean? Since his eye got cut out, it's kind of like his PSD. He's trying to take on Kristen Cole. And, every time a fight breaks out, he's just got a smirk on his face because something's going to happen and he can draw a sword and do some shit. So,
So he looks badass, bro. Like he really looks like he was. Like I said, that was a great clip too, man. That we had, about the fight. but yeah, he was really he was doing his thing back in the day, but like now, yeah, he had, he probably feels
He's
he's
grown.
on one because he has the dragon, he has Vagar,
right.
and you know what I mean? Yeah, he got stronger. His brother doesn't care about really what's going on, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so like he's definitely positioning himself. He seems like he's cool with kind of playing his position, but at the same time, he's ready. Like yo, like y'all not even ready for what I got to offer, man. Like, I'm about to come out of here and really do my thing. So yeah, so then also when we're on King's Landing, man, we see Vaemond. He
shows
he's
up.
really jockeying for his position, the Driftmark. He wants them to basically make some type of royal decree that says that he is the person that's supposed to get this, and then he vows to be their ally throughout the course of that. And like I said, it's just kind of getting into, like I said, the Game of Thrones. Like he's just trying to really play that and set itself up. And it does feel like, at that point in time, the green has so much power. Like it just it feels like, the black, they got all these illegitimate kids over there. You got girls over there that, you got people that don't got parents, whatever, because the girls don't have their mother. Corlys is gone. So like it looks like Team Black is kind of depleted, and Vaemond kind of moving in, promising a fleet, whatever. It looks really formidable. They look really formidable, and now they got Aemond. We got a young Aemond, like so they look tough, man. And all these other lords that are at court, like that we haven't seen in a while, because it looks like there's the Lannisters are there, like like doing their thing, and so yeah, so it's that, but we get then we kind of shift into the black team, whatever, and Rhaenys and Rhaenyra. I mean, like this is like this is like maybe the second time that these two women have like an important conversation,
right?
You know what I mean, and kind of come to wits, whatever. And wow, like Rhaenyra, man, she knows how to play her cards. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's a last ditch effort, but like she offers a marriage proposal.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? Because she knows that there's some doubts, whatever. But she knows how Corlys felt.
Right.
And she's like, you know what? How about we do this? Like, we marry, I marry my boys to Rhaenyra's girl, or no, to Daemon's girls, whatever,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we kill two birds with one stone, you know what I mean? Baela and Lucerys, I mean, they do their thing. Jason, is that how the relation will work, or is it
Baela and Luke and Jace and Ray.
Ray, okay, yeah. So you know what I mean, and then it's like, okay, all right, but is that gonna work though? You know what I mean? And I think that's what we're worried about, or that's what we're kind of wondering, like, is that gonna be enough? You know what I mean, to kind of tip the scales there for them. So
a little bit, and we'll probably see how that unfolds here shortly. And then of course they couldn't meet in private without her bringing up, like, yo, what happened to your husband? What happened to, hey, remember your husband? What happened to him? You know what I mean? Like, and so, and of course, she didn't lie. She didn't lie.
She technically didn't lie.
She didn't lie. You know what I mean? No. Right. It's exactly how my relationship works. I'm not lying.
I'm not lying. I didn't kill your son.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Right.
I didn't kill him.
Yeah.
I mean,
of course.
I can't tell you where you're at, but
right. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. I wasn't sure that Rhaenys was gonna buy it because of that. You know what I mean? Right. Like because of you know what I mean. How long is she gonna hold on to that? You know, she even called her bluff, like just like this might be a last ditch effort. You know what I mean? I don't know about this. It don't sound like a sweet deal for me, but we get into some stuff later, man. So it says Rhaenyra and brother Aegon have something in common.
So yeah, we touched on that. I kind of touched on that earlier in the show, just how they just don't, they're both just in this episode not wanting the Iron Throne. Like it's getting exhausting at this point. And then we just have some other foreshadowing happening here. So we continue to see the king get his wounds dressed and cleaned by the maesters, and just it's not working. And that scene is just foreshadowing. It opens up with the smoke coming from his model. And you hear bells ringing in the background. And when smoke rains from the towers and the bells ring, it symbols the king is dead. So it was just, this scene was kind of just foreshadowing what was happening towards the end of the episode.
All right, so then we get a petition. We get the official petition because I mean that's what Vaemond was setting his stuff up. Rhaenys and Rhaenyra, they're setting their stuff up. So now we get the actual petition, and it just looks like it's already kind of said and done. You know what I mean? You got Hightower, sitting at the top of that, speaking for the king because he's the hand. And you kind of wonder like, okay, how this ain't gonna go in their favor, whatever. So they're going, and he's talking, and Rhaenyra gets to kind of start to say her piece, whatever. After Vaemond makes a good claim, and then out of nowhere, right, the door opens, and you're like, oh, okay, what's going on? And then, man, Viserys, man, he goes and he sits the throne one last time, man, last time.
Yep,
and that was big, man. That was one of the best scenes in the show because it just showed like, man, like this guy, even though as feeble as he is, I mean, just the way it is, he still has the most power. He's the most power. This feeble ass SpongeBob grandma looking motherfucker like has the most power in the realm, and like it's not gonna go as smooth as Hightower assumes. Well, so he's going there, and I ain't gonna lie, like I'm like, I like the walking there. That was good that he was able to get up there, but like I was worried that he was gonna fall on one of those damn swords. You know what I mean? Because I was like, this guy, and
how
right
many people have
there,
accidentally died from slipping and falling in that thing, and just like whoopsie, and then boom, I'm on a sword. Like how many people have accidentally been impaled by the Iron Throne? I want to know the stats on that number. Yeah.
So we get one. So we get one last sit on the throne, but like before that, one last moment of brotherly love, and maybe the only time these two have shown each other any love really throughout the whole series, right? I mean, Daemon steps up because this man is struggling, man. I'm worried it's about to be over for him. I mean, like what's gonna happen? And he walks him up to the rest of the throne, man, sits him down like a brother should. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and I remember prior to the show starting, I remember GRRM, George Martin, he was talking about how like, in this show you're gonna see characters who like, do bad things, but then like redeem themselves even when you don't think they can. And like, like it just was like really, it looked good for Daemon, man. Like just like. You know what I mean? Because of, we know how he feels, whatever, but at the same time, it's like, all right, man, the least I could do.
But Daemon gets it. Daemon gets it because he knows it's only a matter of like 13 minutes before either him or his wife sits on the Iron Throne. So like all's good, and let's be cordial. Let's be nice to the bro. And also he probably just feels bad.
Yeah, because, that's the saying. The first time we even see like any kind of like remorse or anything like that. And so he helps him out. And then, oh man, so then Viserys is just on some like petitions. What are we talking about? Petitions? Like this was already said and done. Like, I mean, like what are we talking about here, man? Like I'm tired, I'm weak, man, I'm dying. Like I'm tired of talking about this. Like, what are y'all talking about? Whatever.
Yep. And so then, we finally get that answer. Daemon's laugh. Because and I guess I'm terrible at reading, so I didn't see the captions in the funeral. When he laughed at the funeral, Daemon's giggle, he had mentioned that Laena left behind 2 pure blood daughters, and he knew that he was making a jab at Rhaenyra's bastard children. That's why Daemon giggled during the funeral of his wife.
Yes. So oh my God. So then Vaemond, I mean, he's like he's tired of it. He's like, bro, I'm over this dog and pony show, man. You know what I mean? Like I came here on one. He's like, bro, let's call a spade, man. And he breaks the very vow that in the last episode, Viserys let it be known. He said, yo, talk about this shit again. You know what I mean? You'll talk about my grandsons. it's over. I'm taking your tongue out. You know what I mean? Whatever. And so Vaemond breaks the vow, and he's woo, like he was vicious, man. They're bastards.
Yelling from the rooftops. But I mean,
They're
it's
bastards.
how many times, but like, that's the thing. How many times, how many people, his son, his friends, his family, his wife, his this, his that, how many people need to scream it? And so he just yells it. And then of course Daemon under his breath.
That wasn't even, I think that was harsh, and that was gonna be, but then he's like, and Rhaenyra, she's a whore.
Right.
And like he yelled that out. And go ahead, man. Your boy, what'd he do, man?
Hey, you know what I mean? Daemon said, don't say it. Don't say it. This motherfucker.
Oh, he said, say it.
He said, say it. Go ahead. See what happens. And then he pulls out his sword, Dark Sister. I know that for a fact. And he pulls out his sword and he slices the bitch's head off. Because that's what you do. You slice a motherfucker's head.
Fruit ninja.
He's been waiting since the battle with Crabfeeder to slice this bitch in half.
It was a perfect Fruit Ninja.
Yes.
And
perfect score on Fruit Ninja. Yes.
Fam, he said he can keep his tongue. And now, mind you, I didn't rewind it. Tongue. But that little thing that was flickering after was that his tongue?
His tongue. Yeah. They showed his tongue. Oh, yeah. No. It's his tongue. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's what I'm saying. Going back to last week.
Right.
You know what I mean? And before, people are upset about a little joke.
Right.
We just seen a motherfucker.
Right.
Have you ever seen that on TV?
Right. No. Well, so it had a lot of Gustavo Fring Breaking Bad vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, or some Walking Dead. Yeah, like definitely
a little bit of Walking Dead. Yeah,
Walking Dead in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Viserys too. He's
right.
He looked just like one of them
right,
zombies from Walking Dead.
So Daemon cuts a head off, and so what better way to celebrate than everyone being on the same page that Luke is gonna marry this chick as his half. What is it now? Stepsister, half sister. I don't even freaking know what these people are anymore, dude. It's so insane.
It's his stepsister.
It's his
stepsister. Cousin,
step cousin, but it's whatever. And so he's gonna be the king of Driftmark, and everyone's happy about it. So let's celebrate and have one big last family dinner with the king, because it's what he wants. Yeah. Can we come together, please, as a family?
Yep, the Last Supper, man. We get the Last Supper, and even that, just they have them having to walk him in there, you know what I mean? Right. And his skin is probably just flaking off into the food, and just it just was not a scene. You know what I mean? And so we're going through, and it says
he stands up. Well,
okay,
so he stands, so we almost get a fight, and then he stands up. He takes his mask off, and we see his eyes missing.
He makes that declaration. He said, I want y'all to see me as I am.
Right,
you know what I mean? We gonna eat this food.
Right.
I mean, I might get a little debris in your pigeon pie soup, whatever. But let's go, man.
Your
Kumbaya, man. Let's make this happen.
The king's flaking his own skin in their pigeon pie.
Yeah, that shit nasty, bro. That was nasty. He was just like
the king's flaking his shit. He's got this flaky skin in the pigeon. Oh my god.
Yeah,
the
bro.
Pigeon Popeye.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So everyone's friendly, and they says either, and we see Ray, and we see Alicent, and they're like, hey. Remember when we used to eat each other's pussies under the tree when we were kids? It was great times, and we could be friends again. We could do it again. Okay? Listen, I know you don't like your husband. I don't like having sex with my husband. Look at him. He looks like the worm from SpongeBob. And so, you know what I mean, dude?
I always
they're
wanted your pussy.
Right. For real. We could have ruled the Iron Throne together, bitch. You know what I mean? It could have been a whole different series by this point.
Oh my God. Hell yeah.
But we see Helena, and Helena, Aegon's quote unquote wife, and the daughter of the queen, the king. Helena says under her breath, we don't really hear it. She says, beware the beast beneath the boards.
Yeah, what does that mean? What does that mean?
It's a metaphor for Aegon's dick.
Oh.
It's a metaphor. It's the beast in Aegon's pants because he's making a joke about one of Rhaenyra's boys being a virgin.
Yes, and yeah, he was being real weird. He was like stepping on his cousin's toes, and it's like you ain't even see her either. Like you real talking real thirsty right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You got your little slow sister. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No offense to her, but
sister.
Yeah, she was special, man.
She's a dreamer.
She was a sweetheart. She was a sweetheart though. She's a sweetheart.
No, and she's a dreamer. She dreams the dragon dreams, and so she kind of like almost predicts the future sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, she beware the beast beneath the boards, which is a stab at Aegon and how he's just a smut around the castle.
Yep, and then Jace does the good thing, and he makes it. He was pissed because dude's talking crazy, but I mean he shows restraint. He shows he's the bigger man, and he gives props to his people. But then, it goes on. I don't know. Luke was being an asshole though. Like Luke, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for what he's childish. He's a little kid, but why you laughing, yo, bro? You think you can take this young man right now? Like why are you laughing at him? Because I don't even think Aemon wouldn't have said nothing if Luke wasn't like taunting him a little with the laughs, like like looking like a little boy, like bro. And and
let's be honest, like out of all of the kids and Daemon's kids included, the girls. Like who would, if you had to choose one out of all of them, Aemon One-Eye Targaryen would be your choice to be on the Iron Throne tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
like he's battle tested. He's he knows what he's doing. He's smart. He's wicked, and he's what I mean. He could probably do it better than all the other little whatever. And so it's very interesting to see that progression and how they've kind of grown up. Essentially,
yes, and he makes the dig, man. He makes the dig, and basically he does a toast.
Yep,
and he to Jace, Luke, and Joffrey, each one of them handsome, wise, and strong. You know what I mean? And oh no, that was not what you wanted to say.
Right.
However, it was like he just made light work of these guys. I mean, basically, we almost got round two. We kind of did get round two, but it was a weaker
slams
version.
His fucking head into the table.
Yeah, boom, slammed the young boy. The other one came up to Aemon. He just pushed him out of there or whatever. And you're like, oh, and this is after, mind you, this is after the king kind of, he's had enough. I mean, he was, he flaked out. He flaked too much.
Lost too many flakes. Yeah, he lost too many flakes.
I mean, everybody's like, yo, take his ass somewhere. Like,
yo, don't let it. Hey, it's like it's like a scary movie too. Scary movie too. They're like, did you make the dessert? Did you make? No, we ordered out. Don't fucking touch it. Get Viserys to bed before the fucking pumpkin pie comes, dude. Because if he fucking serves it with his fucking Viserys is putting his hand in he's putting his numb fingers in the mashed potatoes, and he's serving it to Rhaenyra and Luke and Daemon, and he's scooping it out and he's putting in his strong hand.
No, that's no good.
It's disgusting.
That's no good. And then, all right, man. So then, the dinner, everybody gets out of there unscathed for the most part, whatever.
The guards come in, take them away. Yeah,
everybody, people are taken away. You know what I mean? Everybody goes back.
Well, they fucking better. They're like, hey, no more eyes lost. Like, if these kids start beating the shit out of each other, I need you guards to step in, Kristen Cole, quicker than you did last time.
Yeah,
because
way quicker.
Way quicker. Yeah.
So then at the very end, we see, Viserys on that deathbed, man, and he's laying there, and this is the problem, man. You know what I mean? He starts talking about prophecy. We just mentioned milk of the poppy. Milk of the poppy makes you a little delusional. He's there dying, man. Like, this is his last breath, man, last stand, and he thinks he's talking to his daughter.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
He thinks he's talking to his daughter. So then he starts to talk about this prophecy, and then she's like, "What? What are you talking?" He's like, "Yeah, remember Aegon the Conqueror, man, and his dream, man, the prince that was promised, Aegon, whatever. And you know what I mean, he's talking, he's giving her the information, the song of Ice and Fire, and she don't know.
And she's
what
like, I
the
don't
fuck.
know what song Ice and Fire. What the fuck are you talking? What
song is that?
say Aegon again? What did you say about Aegon?
And that's the thing too. She don't know because like they don't even know to heat up the blade and you can see the whole joint. And she don't know that because she not Targaryen. She not gang for real. You know what I'm saying?
I would say, what's I know they know you can't, obviously, like in circumstances like this, you can't do anything, but like, why is there a rule that like says you have to be, I mean, I guess, I don't know.
You have to be what?
I was gonna say you have to be a Targaryen to like be on the Iron Throne, but then I guess technically they are like because Alicent doesn't know about the Song of Ice and Fire. She doesn't know about the prophecy. She doesn't know about the dream. She doesn't know about Aegon the Conqueror. She doesn't know anything about that. She's just she's just the wife. She's just the childbearer, right?
Yeah.
Rhaenyra knows all that. So that should be the test to be able to sit on the Iron Throne. Do you know? Yes. Do you know what's up? And Rhaenyra says, yeah. And then they ask Alicent, you know what's up? And she says no. And okay, you may pass. Like that's how it works. Yeah. And so it should be. It's very interesting. But yeah, man, Alicent takes that shit to heart, and now she thinks
she's like, wait, my son.
A dying wish.
The fuck up boy that's like, pounding everything, the Prince of Pussy, like that. Oh man, wow, that's amazing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it's over. The episode's over, and then you're like, oh shit, man. She's gonna take that information and run with it. You know what I mean? Even though there's clear signs as to like, no, it's not who he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, man. So
that's gonna leave us. I think I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch or know too much about the trailer. I watched it once, but I'm not 100% sure about it.
Too much going on. Yeah.
But I know that they announce, I guess, to the small council that the king is dead. Yep. And that I think it from the trailer, but we got to take this with a grain of salt. From the trailer, it looks like they're trying to keep that news from Rhaenyra. But again, I'm not sure. From everything I've heard and seen on Twitter and YouTube and all the rumblings, I think they will temporarily make Aegon the second, Alicent's son, king. But I think that might be short-lived. I know Rhaenyra is appointed queen at some point in time. So yeah. Whenever, however that happens, I'm not 100% sure.
The trailer was too quick for me. I didn't get to see it. So like, or I did, but like I can't recall. Like,
there wasn't a lot. Hightower said like the doors remain shut until we figure it out, and I think
and then Rhaenyra said something about the Iron Throne or something like that.
Yeah, it's very
rule something. Yeah, I don't know. She said something.
One of the Grand Maesters mentions like treason and stuff like that.
Yes,
so I think they're just trying to figure out what they're supposed to do with the fact that Alicent said, "Hey, the king's dying wish on his deathbed. No one else is allowed in the room, so you have to take my word for it. Also, I'm the queen.
Yeah, the prince's promise.
Like, listen to me. The king literally just said 20 minutes ago. Well, he's dead now. You can't ask him, but he said 20 minutes ago that the prince's promised is my son.
Aegon. So no. See, look, you don't even know where. Yeah, I think that's why you're right. They're gonna be able to prove it with other stuff, but
and we see a crown, I believe, too, in the trailer. In iron.
Yes, it was just sitting there.
It's not the same crown that Viserys wears. If I know this correctly,
well, yeah, it's too flaky. It's too much nastiness on it. Like they can't use that one. They gotta burn that one, man.
If I'm not,
they gotta bury that one alive, bro. That was
if I'm not mistaken,
you don't want to wear that. They don't have disinfectant back then, bro. You can't wear that.
Oh, yeah.
You can't wear that. You get they probably think you get leprosy from that joint.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
bury that with the king.
Everything.
If I'm not mistaken, I think each king gets their own crown.
Yeah.
So we see a new crown. So whether that iron-looking crown goes to Rhaenyra or Aegon, I'm not sure. Who? Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know at this point. But I think episode 9 everyone is chalking this up to be like hands down greatest of all time. So
Wow. So is this the dance? Is next week really the Dance of the Dragons?
you know what, man? I'm not 100% sure. So we know that certain people were born in 120 in year 120. And so we know the king dies in year 126, and we hear that I think Rhaenys makes a comment about 6 years or something since something happened. So it's been 6 years. I don't know where we're at in the timeline now as of the Dance of the Dragons.
Okay.
Every expert and everything that I'm watching on Twitter and YouTube, they don't know either, because
Really?
like this episode, today's episode, or this week's episode was like a whole book or like one chapter or something. It was like a chapter in the whole thing. So who knows where we're going, what we're going to get. But basically in the scripture, it says the king's death is it. Like that, it's game over now, because Alicent thinks she's queen and ruling shit. Rhaenyra thinks she's queen and ruling shit. They both got some blonde babies, some not blonde babies. And she's ready to go, and it's game time. Because now that the king's dead, it's anyone's game, right? Because Alicent can say this, Rhaenyra can say that, the bloodline can say this, history can say that, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm not sure, man. I don't know. I don't know when the dance is coming. Honestly, I think I'm sticking with my predictions so far. I think it might start, and we might get the conclusion in season 2, maybe.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. Man, I'm excited to see. It's like, I'm rooting for Daemon. But Aemond is like a parallel to him. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Aemon's going to be right. Aemond becomes like the Daemon of the Greens. And so we see them kind of collide, and we kind of see them with a little stare off in this episode. And they kind of become, I think they have a small battle between themselves, maybe in the dance or something. I might have heard. Don't quote me on it.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I think it's only getting crazier, right?
It's only getting, man. We got two more left.
Now that the king's dead, like what else? I mean, the floodgates are open, right? So we have now is it official? We now have a Targaryen on the Driftmark throne, correct? It is.
Yeah. Well, Velaryon Targaryen. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so now, which I think, I mean, even though One-Eyed Daemon has the biggest dragon that he stole from the Blacks, I think having that fleet and everything the Velaryons come with, do you think that would better serve them than that extra dragon? Oh, one thing we didn't mention, Daemon gets he finds Syrax has dragon eggs. He gets a dragon egg.
Syrax,
and that Syrax and that egg that we see him pull out of the ground, that will, according to the source material as well, goes to the child who we did not see, who was unborn.
Visenya.
Yes, the daughter. Yep. But I think there's like 2 other eggs in that batch that they then use for their own purposes, of course.
Dope.
So yeah, man, it's gonna get bloody. It's gonna get crazy. It's called the Dance of the Dragons. So I mean, what can you expect other than fire and death and characters,
fire, death, and flesh. Yep.
Just
carnage.
Insane. So your final predictions. Do you think we'll see Laenor or Corlys in the rest of season 1? Do you think
I think the fact you kept Laenor alive, like we've never seen that either on Game of Thrones, right, where like a character that didn't quite die or that we don't see die.
Did we?
They come back because like remember the Hound? Like I remember that too. Like I was like, man, he got like we ain't see him dead, even though it's
and so here's the thing: Game of Thrones has also given us all of the possibilities. Like Jon Snow was dead, And then
yes.
And then he comes back.
We've seen him die. Yeah,
he was dead, and now he's back. And like we've seen people who we thought were dead and come back. We've seen people who fake their deaths and come like so the different possibilities of like dead versus alive. We've seen them all play out at this point.
Yeah.
But we don't know what they'll do with that later in the story. Because I mean, we've seen shows before like do stuff like that and then just never like if we never see Rhaenyra again, like is anyone going to say, well, wait a minute, what happened to him? Like,
no, because he don't got no kids, nothing.
Right. We just assume that he's living his life with his boyfriend somewhere else that he changed his name to. So it's oh, this series, The Kingdom, it's insane. It's insane. Yes. It's insane. It's episode 8, baby.
Episode 8, man. So this is another episode of Recap and Record podcast. Again, I'm Los. This is Levi. Take it away, man, for the ending. What you got to do?
Dude, man, follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. I'm doing my best to tweet during the episode and leading up beforehand.
Okay.
And Los has got some of the stuff over on Instagram, the photos, the stories, the clips, everything over there. Subscribe to us on YouTube, dude. Some of our friggin' YouTube clips, some of our YouTube videos have been doing pretty above average numbers. Nothing insane, but doing so good over there. So subscribe there, like the videos, comment, all that stuff helps us out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of Recap and Record. You can support us by clicking the links down in the description or the show notes wherever you're listening or watching this podcast. My name's Levi, that's Los. You know what it is. This is Recap and Record. We'll see you next week, episode 9, presumably the biggest freaking episode we've ever seen ever.
Yes, definitely. I'm ready.
Stick with it, guys. Peace.
All right, man. Peace out.